Okay, all right. Happy Friday, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Make sure y'all can hear me. Make sure you guys can hear me. Can everybody hear me loud and clear out there before I move forward? All right. Okay. Cool beans. Okay, so first I want to say happy Friday to everybody out there. I want to say I hope all is well with everybody out there during these snowstorms, ice storms. My heart goes out to those in California who's affected by those California wildfires. It's horrible. Seeing reports of those are being, man-made started fires is crazy. I'm going to play this little short clip with none other than Gavin Newsom and a little blunder, I guess you could say, by Joe Biden to get the show started. But first, when I heard about this dealing with the New Jersey teachers union getting, as far as the basic reading and writing skills test requirement, it made me think of this skit on Key and Peele. So this is what I'm going to use as the intro to get this show started, all right? Salute to everybody out there. Here we go.
Jay Quellen. Where's Jay Quellen at? Son of a Message!
I know I don't think teachers, there are those teachers out there that does exist. Not for simple names like that, but they are out there. I went to school. I had a few. But we're going to start with these wildfires. Gavin Newsom, man, I don't understand how he became so beloved by, I'm not going to say the Democratic Party, but by Democratic voters, because I was hearing his name a lot about, even I said it in the beginning until I learned more about him, about how he should have, threw his hat in for the presidency other than Kamala Harris, having a primary. But if I was high on him still up until I would say yesterday, because this is when I saw his video clip, I wouldn't be high on him anymore. And if I saw this Joe Biden clip, I would be like, it makes sense, right? Let's play this real clip real quick, and then we're going to get to the whole New Jersey teachers union thing. Let's go.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the
I
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see the. Do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people are safe.
I'd like to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing?
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
Indeed.
No pun intended. Boy, I tell you, Gavin Newsom lying there talking about you on the phone with the president. I see I called him 5 times. I got a bad signal around his mouth. But all right, man, let's move forward, man. Again, my heart goes out to everybody that's affected through the fires, the ice. I hope everybody's power was on. If not, like I said, speedy, cut on for the electricity out there. But hopefully I can get Akil Parker of All This Math. He's a professor by way of Philadelphia. I'm gonna try to get him on the line to talk about this right here. Okay, the New Jersey ends basic reading and writing skills test requirement for teachers. When I saw that headline, I was like, whoa, whoa, right? But then, as I looked into it a little bit more, so it's the act called Act 1669, which was signed into law by Governor Phil Murphy in June of last year, taking effect on the 1st of this year. All right, so over the past few years, multiple states have lowered standards over certification to combat nationwide shortage of teachers. Okay, in 2022, California enacted an emergency executive order to throw out requirement traditional credentials for teachers to help recruit parents as substitutes. Now, before we go any further, right, it may be looking into statistics as it pertains to New Jersey, right? I had to look this up. I didn't want to take this news article as face value and be upset about it. So, according to New Jersey, they rank 7th in education in the U.S. as of 2024, right? They rank 5th in all states for most segregated schools for Black schools and 7th for Hispanics. Yeah, right? So they have 593 operating schools, 85 charter schools, 2005 elementary schools. They get $10.8 billion every year in state aid. And overall, they have 117,135 classroom teachers, and their dropout rate is only 1.2%. Now, before I got to the segregation part of it, because I later found that, when I kept digging, I was like, oh, ranked 7th in education. Well, they must know what they're doing up there, right? I wasn't going to be like, I wasn't going to, try to kick their back in. The 4-year graduation rate is 91%. More than 130, well, here's the kicker though, more than 130 New Jersey schools have at least 80% of students of one race, according to Patch.com news article, all right? 103 majority white, 15 majority Black, and 25 majority Hispanic. So, it led me to think that, okay, yeah, they're probably ranking 7th because of the 103 majority white schools. I'm quite sure there have been news articles, even New Jersey was sued on behalf of Black districts with majority Black schools for being segregated, right? They're the 5th most segregated school in the country, but they rank 7th highest in education. Can anybody make that make sense? Now, here's the best. Now, you want to think about equality in education, right? Here's the top 10 schools, and this threw me through a loop because I never would have thought a few of these would be on here. According to NewJerseyFamily.com, in the same article where they were talking about the segregation that's going on in the state of New Jersey as it pertains to education, right? They were talking about the top 10 best states for racial equality as it pertains to education. Number 1, Mexico. Number 2, West Virginia. Number 3, Wyoming. 4, Oregon. 5, Vermont. 6, Maine. Who in the hell is Black? I don't even know if I know any Black people that live in Maine. Number 7, Kentucky. Number 8, Hawaii. Number 9, Oklahoma. And number 10, Texas. Okay? So these are, the stats that I ran across. As I was looking through this. I'm going to play this next video clip. This is going to be the union president, the New Jersey union president, all right, of, in New Jersey. He's going to give his explanation on why he supported and they were fully behind the passing of this act. Let's go.
New Jersey is known for its high quality standards in education, and that really begins with the quality of our teachers. So why is the state's largest teachers union in support of getting rid of this Praxis basic skills test that aspiring teachers have to pass in order to become a teacher?
Yeah, listen, we're really excited to have the best schools in the nation. We have for some time. We continually do because, as you note, of educators and so many others who are part of that system. But we also know that we've got to eliminate barriers for people coming into the profession. And unfortunately, whether it's financial or otherwise, we see barriers sometimes that do not help us just recruit the best and retain the best, but really keep people out who would be great educators. And this is an example of that. Every educator still has to pass a subject-specific test that goes through exactly what they need to know for the course that they're going to teach. And the basic skills, I use that in air quotes, is doesn't really measure the things that someone would think maybe are basic skills that everyone needs to know. You know, it's pretty abstract and obscure, and it doesn't have any measure of how successful an educator will be. So we're excited again to see getting rid of a barrier. And I think that's always the dynamic that you're working through is how do you eliminate barriers that keep people out? You want people to get in, but you, of course, also want to maintain high standards. But we think we found the right spot on this one.
Sean, just want to drill down into the history of this test a bit more. We've sat through many education hearings where advocates called for the removal of this test. Give me an example of why this test doesn't accurately indicate the success a teacher might have in the classroom.
Yeah, so let's say you're asking about obscure high-level math, for someone who's going to be teaching a kindergarten class, right? So you would think if something's a basic skills test, you've got basic math on there, or you've got, basic writing and reading skills, those things that I guess I would think of, or I think most people would think of as basic, when it's asking about, very high level, very obscure things that you're like, well, if I'm going on to teach math, I've got a specific math practice I'm going to pass to go teach that course. So, again, we've got to find things that set the baselines we want, make sure we've got quality educators in the profession, which we do. That's why we've got the best schools in the nation. But we also have to be very mindful when we talk about the educator shortages that we're facing and barriers keeping people out, specifically a diverse workforce that we want to have come in. We've got to look at every single thing and see which things work and which things are just being obstacles.
Yeah, that's exactly my next question to you. How does this change potentially bring in more teachers of color? We know that New Jersey's classrooms very often do not represent the diversity that our classrooms do. How do we potentially see more teachers of color, especially in urban areas, with this change?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I don't think there's any one thing that's going to, make a massive change. When we're in one of the most diverse states, and our diversity is our strength, we also know we're one of the most segregated states. I'll note that as well. But as we try and recruit and retain, we've also been working with the Department of Ed and other partners to say, while we're doing that, how can we get a more diverse workforce that is reflective of the student population that they teach? And that does mean talk about eliminating some of the things that are barriers. And those barriers might mean tests that keep people out because of some of the obscure things that they ask. But it also can be the dollars, right? So many times right now, we see these high cost tests that people have to take, sometimes multiple times, while at the same time, by the way, they're trying to, go into student teaching, which thankfully, Governor Murphy, you might get a little bit of money for now, but you didn't get any money for. All of these things compounding to say, wait a minute, I've got to put out all these dollars to try and get into a profession where for somebody with the same degrees as me, they're going into something else. They're making a lot more money, and they don't have all these obstacles that I have got to get through. So, we've been, very focused on saying, how do you put all these things together? Thankful for some of the things the governor did put in the budget there to kind of alleviate some of those costs. And this is an example of that, too, eliminating a barrier that's not only one for content that was irrelevant, but also cost as well.
All right. So for those who are just now joining the show, we're talking about the New Jersey basic, reading and writing skills test requirement for teachers being cut out. And he was just this guy here, the president of the New Jersey Education Association, just gave his explanation why. But how do you guys feel about this? Do you guys think that it will have a negative or a positive impact as it pertains to the state of New Jersey? Call in if you will. The phone line is open if you want to call in. Let me know how you guys think. Do you think that would have a positive or negative impact, or will it be a specific, a designed impact? Right. We're gonna get Kill on the line real quick. And let's see what he has to say about it. Mind you, of all this math, okay? Check out his YouTube channel, guys. I'm telling you, check out his YouTube channel. Let me get him on real quick. Let's see. You live, bro? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You on? Let me see. Make sure. Let me see. Can you hear me, Kel? Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. My first time using this. First time somebody actually called in. Let's see.
The conference is in presentation mode. There is one party in the conference.
Yo, can you hear me, Kel?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you good. Yeah.
All right. My bad, bro. My bad. Had a little technical difficulties over here. First time. You know what? Special applause. You are my first caller on the show. First caller ever. Salute. So I just want to ask you a few questions real quick, man. As it pertains to the New Jersey ending of the basic reading and writing skills test. As a teacher yourself, can you break down what you think about it?
Say that again. You
Tell
were
me
breaking up.
Tell me what you think about about the ending of the basic reading and writing skills test for New Jersey.
Okay, well, I see it from both angles, right? So one angle is if we lower the standards by eliminating the test, then we would think that would lower the quality of teachers that are going to be in the classrooms. But the first thing I want to say is I think the term basic is misleading in terms of the way they described it.
Okay.
Because the test that they're talking about the Praxis exam, Praxis, the Praxis exam, which there's like a preliminary praxis, like an introductory praxis exam that has a reading section, reading comprehension section. It's got a writing section, and it's got a math section. Now, a lot of people get jammed up on the math because the math section has algebra on it. It's got some geometry on it. It's got like a little bit of statistics.
Yeah.
And so it's not. For one thing, I want people to know is it's not as basic as they may want to make it seem. It's a little bit advanced. It's not what I would consider high level math. It's not. You won't see no calculus on there. You're not gonna see pre-cal. You're not gonna see trig, anything like that. But that's that. But I do think it's important for teachers to demonstrate an understanding of even that math. But because a lot of teachers push back on it, they say like if somebody wants to teach kindergarten or first grade, and in their mind they're like, well, I'm not going to be teaching algebra, so why do I got to take a test that shows I know how to do algebra? And that's a flawed way of thinking that a lot of teachers have, because what they're not understanding is that they should have an awareness, at least an awareness of higher level of math that's higher than the level that they're teaching, because that's what they should really be preparing their children for. Even if you're teaching kindergarten and you're trying to teach children numeracy, how to recognize numbers, how to recognize quantities, how to do basic addition and basic subtraction, you're doing that to lay a foundation so that one day they'll be in a calculus class and be able to excel.
Yeah.
But if you know nothing about calculus, or you don't know nothing about algebra, you're not proficient in algebra, then you won't be able to make the connections when you're developing your lesson plans and when you're trying to provide that instruction, even though it's on a very fundamental level.
Okay.
So that's one like very popular perception that a lot of teachers have. Now, another thing I would say is the test itself is only about content knowledge. It's really not about like teaching strategy. There are different Praxis exams.
Hold on. Break that down. Content strategy versus the last part you just said, for those who may not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so content is just knowing how to do the math problems yourself. Like if I give you an equation to solve, you know how to solve it. Say, here, solve this equation. Okay. And you do it and you get the right answer. Right? That's content. But, instructional strategy, instructional ability, or pedagogy, we call it, that's how do you, what ability do you have to show somebody else how to do what you just did?
Okay.
And that's, so there's a lot of that goes on, because you got and that's why a lot of times people say, well, if you got an engineering degree or you got a math degree or you got an accounting degree, the understanding is that you know how to do math. But
Gotcha.
knowing how to do math, just like with a lot of things, knowing how to do a thing and knowing how to teach a thing can often be very two different things.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So because and you got it's a lot, like you see this in college all the time. Because a lot of college professors don't know how to teach.
Yeah.
But they know how to do. They know how to do their whether it's math, if it's math, they know how to do math problems. They might be a chemistry professor. They know how to do chemistry problems and do chemistry experiments. And this goes like physics. It could be in a lot of different subject areas. But being able to teach it to somebody, do they know it that well? To be able to teach it to somebody, that's that's a tall order sometimes.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But there are different Praxis exams that do measure your teaching knowledge. Those are different ones. So some teachers will still have to take those. Like there's an elementary school math teaching knowledge exam. There's a middle school math teaching knowledge exam, where you have to you got to demonstrate that you know how to do the math, but also you got to demonstrate that you know how to teach that math too.
Okay.
So those are separate tests that's still in existence.
Okay. All right. Do you think that that's going to be something that's going to set a precedent where you're going to see more states do the same thing, or do you think it'll all depend on for each state as far as teacher shortages, or do you think? Because I think it's going to start a precedent where it's going to go across the board to help across the states with teacher shortages. But what do you think?
I think I agree with you. I think it's going to be I think it's a slippery slope. I think what's going to happen is as standards continue to get lowered, it's just going to, then those tests, for example, I think I could see eventually the tests that test your ability to teach the content, those might get eliminated too, right?
Yeah.
But of course you take the test, if you were an education major, you take the test before you start teaching, or you take the test at the end of undergrad. And a lot of times, and I know this from teaching in an education program, right? The math, at least, right, is not sufficient to really develop the aspiring teachers to be proficient.
Yeah.
And what has to happen, it's not enough. It's just not enough coursework, right?
Yeah.
So what the teachers really have to do on their own, if they want to be proficient, they want to be effective, they have to be independent learners.
Okay.
While they're in the classroom or before they get in the classroom, I think that should be mandatory.
Yeah.
But the test is supposed to measure how much they learned, I guess, in undergrad. But even the education programs don't really, if you want to teach K through 8. Now it's different if you want to if you want to teach math, then you're going to take more math classes. You want to specialize, you want to be a middle school math teacher or a high school math teacher, then you're going to take more math courses. That's going to be required. But for those that want to be elementary school teachers, just where you teach all subjects, you're teaching reading, teaching language, you're teaching some math, right?
Yeah.
Your coursework is not going to be that much. You're not going to have that much coursework focusing on the math. And with that test that they're talking about, most people fail the math part. Most people they pass the reading and the writing, but they fail the math part. That's what most people do. It's similar to how the GED is.
I'm one of them.
Somebody wants to take the GED. So you can probably attest to that. Most people pass every subject, but they fail the math.
Yep.
And a lot of people do that. A lot of people keep failing the math section of the GED.
Yeah. So
and it's the same thing with the practice.
So let me ask you just one last question. Is there different requirements depending upon the state as it pertains to teachers as far as certifications? Are there outside of New Jersey now? Because they just knocked one out the box. But is there a thing where it depends on each state? Where as far as the extent or certifications and things that you have to go through, or all states have the same broad, same step by step as far as certification and requirements?
Well, the states, and I think this is something that goes back. So this goes back to the Civil War, I think, when they was arguing over states' rights and all that, right?
Yeah.
Even though these racist Confederates, they try to say that it was just about statehood and everything, and it wasn't about slavery and keeping Africans enslaved, but it really was. They just try to call it that, saying, well, we didn't want the federal government to tell us what to do. Well, the thing y'all wanted to do was keep black people enslaved. Like, so they play that game. But this is relevant to that because education, I'm not mistaken, is the domain of states and not the federal government. So different states, like for example, Maryland, the state of Maryland just passed a law, and I want to say October 2024, where they relaxed the requirements in terms of the praxis. Where if you had a certain GPA in undergraduate, then I think if you had a 3.0 GPA, either in undergrad or in the last time you were enrolled in college, then you would be exempt from having to take that praxis, the Praxis 1 they call it.
Okay.
I forget the code number for it, but you'd be exempt from it.
Okay.
And that's a way to get people certified. But then here's another thing.
Well.
Once you take the praxis, that's one of the requirements to get teacher certification. You can be a non-certified teacher in the classroom, though, because some schools will give you what they call an emergency certification.
Wow.
But you have to be working toward a certification.
Okay.
So that's another dynamic. So even if you haven't passed the required exams, you might be still teaching, but you're not a certified teacher. And that's why when you get into teaching, you got levels to different teachers. You got, because sometimes you have certified teachers and you got non-certified teachers.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a better teacher just because you're certified. It's kind of like taking the SAT. Like, there are people that do well on the SAT because they know how to take the SAT.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily smarter than somebody that did more poorly. They just may not have did the prep course and didn't learn the game and learn how to take the SAT and how to get through as many questions as possible and how to find the right answers and figure out all the tricks and whatnot.
Okay.
So that's another aspect too.
Okay, man. Look here. I appreciate you, man, for adding clarity to this, man. Putting your stamp on this. We could talk about this some more on our show. Everybody, if you guys don't know, Professor Kill, he joins me every third Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time, okay? All This Math. Go to his YouTube channel, All This Math, okay? He is the mathematician.
Go ahead. Can I say one last thing?
Go ahead.
So the one major takeaway I want us to take away from this, especially as parents,
okay,
parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, is that as we see what's happening, the standards are being lowered, right?
Yeah.
For the people that are charged with teaching our children. So the greatest way that we can respond to that is by stepping our game up and learning more on our own, so that we can become, if we're not already, so that we can become and begin to become the primary educators for our own children.
Fact.
Because then the more that we know and the more that we understand about the subjects that we need our children to understand for their future, then it becomes less relevant how qualified a teacher is.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you're a parent that, if you don't know no math, you don't know reading comprehension, you haven't mastered the English language and grammar and syntax and all those things, you don't know chemistry, you don't know biology, you don't know all those subjects, then you're at the mercy of whatever people that school district decides to put in the room with your children. But the more that you know, then those people become more irrelevant. They become more and more irrelevant. And that's what you want. Because it's like Ace Rat Brown said, any system that you don't control can and will be used as a weapon against you. So we don't control these school systems.
Yeah.
So they're weaponized against us. So the best thing that we can do for ourselves, regardless of what test is required or not required, is to learn as much as we possibly can, so that we can teach our own children these things. And then when our children go to these schools, if they do, school can just be a place for practice. So that's what we want. We want school to be a place for practice.
There you go.
So we don't want to be at the mercy, because then you got to worry about this whole So many parents are stressed out constantly worrying about, I got to get my child into this good school. Because like it might be 10 schools in your district, and one of them might be what we consider good, where you think they're going to get a good education. The other 9 might be mid or basic or below average. And so many parents all across the country are stressed out constantly because they might got to make sure they get their child into the good school so somebody else can teach it. But one of the ways, and I know it's not easy, I understand it's not easy, but it's mandatory that we do it though. One of the ways to relieve yourself of that stress is stress yourself out about learning that information, learning that content yourself. So that way you don't got to be stressed about hoping that you can get your child into the quote unquote good school so that they can get an education. Gotcha. We got to change the paradigm and change the narrative and start doing some things very differently from how we've always done it and how they've been done traditionally.
All right.
We
gonna address this again on the third Saturday, 11 a.m. everybody. And look, go to YouTube, go to your YouTube channel, man. All This Math. All right, subscribe. I'm telling you, he's a tutor. He teaches everybody every form of math. Okay, every. I'm telling you, just check him out. Okay, I call him the math activist, the activist of math. Okay. All right. Appreciate you calling in, man. Be safe on that road, all right?
No problem, brother.
All right, bro. Peace.
Peace.
You are the last party in the conference.
I don't know why it does that. I'm going to fix that, y'all, for next time. Anybody else want to call in with your opinions? If not, we're going to move forward, okay? I hope you guys learned a lot from what he said. Akil Parker, man, I'm telling you the truth. He's the truth. Roof. Let me see. His last comment. Cinnamon roll. Is this Sheena? Yeah, the good schools are not always the best. You would be surprised how many kids leave those schools and know nothing. Yes, I totally agree with that. And Cinnamon roll, if this is you, Sheena, I have something special for you coming up next. The number is on the bottom left side of the screen, baby. 848-888-9170. If you want to call in now before I move forward with the next topic. All right. Let me see. Who is this? I don't know who this is right here. Let me come over here real quick. Let me see. Who is this? Okay, this must be a stalker that I have. Sorry, guys. I do have stalkers. I learned a lot. Yeah, I hope you did learn a lot. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to call in. If you want to call in, talk about this. Or you might want to wait for the next topic, baby. I'm telling you. All right? But yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot, man. And then let me see. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna move on. I really think that with everything that happens with these acts, with these bills, at face value, and I agree with Akil what he's saying as far as don't let's not go overboard. Let's not be over dramatic about it, because there is a certain process that may help certain teachers, right? That that struggle with these types of things as far as taking tests or whatever, or not. They're trying to be an English teacher and they're not strong in math, right? I get that. I'm totally for. I just don't understand. If you're trying to major in something, you're trying to be a professional or something. I always thought that there should always be institutions for you to study and focus on just primarily that, right? Even in technical schools, man, they'll have you taking math and you're trying to do something that has nothing to do with math. But anyway, I really think that it is going to come to a point where a lot of these teachers, if they start lowering these requirements, a lot of these teachers are going to start filtering to those majority Black school districts. I think that's what's going to happen, right? That's just my opinion. It's just going to come to that point. But yeah, let's move forward, right? Let's move forward. I know you guys have seen this all over the news, right? Was there tension between VP Harris, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump? Now, a lot of people have been talking about how, Donald Trump and Barack Obama was just, kicking it, just, I told y'all, man, a lot of these people are full of shit. I told y'all. But I'm gonna play these videos, and then we'll get into the conversation of it. Let's go. Pence's wife wouldn't get up and shake Donald Trump's hand. They talked about that for a second. She's standing on business. The old smooth bomber. Look at him. Uh-oh, there you go. Now, why is y'all beloved Barack Obama kicking and kicking it with Hitler? Huh? I thought he was Hitler. Am I tripping? Did I not hear that over and over and over again? He's a fascist. He's all these things. He's a whiner. He's a felon. He's all these things. It don't look like it to me. Oh. Bush standing on business. He ain't shaking Donald Trump's hand. Look at that. Look at Barack and Trump now. Don't lose sight of what this is about. Look at that. What are they talking about? Watch when Kamala walks in, though. Hey, watch when Kamala walks in. Look at their faces and watch how they look at her. Now, this is not me trying to bag on Kamala, man. Kamala, hey, look, that's over with, right? I'm just talking about this right here. Let's go. Still talking. What are they talking about? Look at that. Uh-oh. Look. Look at Barack and Trump. Look at their faces. Look at them. She ain't like that shit. 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 Oh, boy. What y'all thought about that when y'all saw that? What y'all thought about when y'all saw that? You saw how they just looked up and down? You know, it reminded me of the woman who be wearing short dresses and skimpy dresses and walks all the way to the front to sit at the front of the congregation, and all the deaconesses, they be looking at her like, look. No. Yeah. And then you know, the girl can hear them talking shit behind her back, you know, so she kind of, that's Mary and Ruth. The hell with them. Like it just, you know. But Trump was asked, you know, what him and Barack Obama was talking about. You know, let's see if he, you know, divulges what him and Obama was just laughing and kikiing about, like the cool schoolgirls in the back of the school bus.
What were you talking to Barack Obama about?
He did look very friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other, and we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along, but I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on, and I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well.
Got along very well. Now look, let me get to my notes. Let me get to my notes, because I had some questions specifically, or I had some comments specifically, right? Y'all remember on The View, it was going viral where they were talking about I forgot the black lady's name to be on MSNBC, the bald-headed chick, right? Dark-skinned, bald-headed chick. Not trying to be funny. She really is bald-headed. She was saying that, like, yo, it's okay if, you know, this Thanksgiving, you don't, you know, invite family members or go to certain family members' houses that may have voted for Trump or whatever. It's okay, right? Then it went to The View, and it got to the point of cutting family members off. Like they took it a step further, cut family members off based on how they vote, all these other things, right? Now, people who feel like that, people who may have cut people off out of their lives, people that they once loved or once called a friend, for y'all who may have done that, right? How does that make you feel? To see the same people who you are going at other people's necks about and cutting people out of your life, for them to sit right there and be laughing and kikiing, and then both of them looking at homegirl like, yeah. I don't know what a damn problem is. Oh, she looked back here. She looked. Ooh. Like, come on, man. You gotta stop it. You gotta stop it. Hey, call in if anybody got an opinion on it. Right? How did y'all feel about it? Sheena, call in, baby. Call in. And I'm gonna use you for an example, Sheena. I ain't trying to put you on Front Street. Me and you totally disagree on politics when it comes to certain things. Me and you totally disagree on Joe Biden. Me and you totally disagree on the 1994 crime bill. I'm not going to say who's for, who's against. I won't put nobody on Front Street, right? But at the end of the day, I know I love you. If I see you at the family reunion, I'm not going to throw no chicken bone or no wing at you. You right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to sneak you at the bar. I'm not going to curve you at the barbecue. I'm going to give you the same hug. I'm going to give you the same kiss on the cheek. And I'm going to give you the same conversation that I would at any other time, right? What did I tell you? I said, you know, we just can't talk politics no more. Me and you, no, we just can't talk politics no more. I never understood people who cut people out of their lives or cut people off for politics. Why these politicians are sitting and kikiing with each other and don't even know you exist. They don't even know your ass exists, and you sitting at the house mad at somebody. You know, deleting their number out your phone and unfollowing them on Instagram and blocking them on Facebook. Like a damn fool, because they vote opposite of what you vote. They have a difference of opinion when it comes to politics. I was so overjoyed when I saw that, because I knew it was so many hardcore Democrats who would kiss Barack Obama's feet and who would try to kill Donald Trump if they had the opportunity, and to see them laugh together and just both give the same look at Kamala Harris. Oh, we got a phone call. Let's see who this is. Who could it be? Let me see. Hold on. All right, you on the line. State your name, state your business.
This your cousin, Sheena.
Hey, Sheena, how you doing, cuz? See, I ain't cut you off. I still love you, don't you? Don't I? Don't I?
Of course, and you better give me my hug or else.
That's
Listen,
right.
first of all, whoever came up with that seating chart, messy as hell. Now, why you putting them people together knowing they don't like each other like that? I really think Jimmy Carter did that on purpose because he knew we needed that laugh, because that is hilarious.
I'm with you. But what do you think Kamala Harris was saying in her head, though? When she looked back and she seen them talking, didn't say nothing to him when she sat down, but when she looked back and just kind of gave that, these niggas, she gave that kind of look. What do you think?
Yeah, because first of all, we all know she don't like Donald Trump because he's very disrespectful. He was very disrespectful to her, calling her all kinds of names and stuff. So that, and even in the debate, she almost called him an MFer. Mm-hmm. But I think when she went in there, I don't think it was towards Barack. I think it was more towards Trump. And I think that she's just over it. She's stressed out. They got these fires. They got all these other things going on. She didn't get to take a break. They trying to do all these things before she leave office. And I think it's just that she's tired and she's stressed. And I think that, Trump, he's made his own grave. People don't mess with that man like that. I just think, honestly, Barack just tolerated him while he was there. Because, just be honest, if Barack Obama would treated Donald Trump like he was nothing, do you know how many names he would be called and how he would be destroyed in the public and how he would be disrespected? Because our standards is different from a white man's standards. George Bush cannot talk to Donald Trump and everybody be like, well, that's just George Bush. But if Barack Obama did that, he would be all kinds of everything. It would be all kinds of threats and all kinds of everything. I think it's just like a code switch thing. I think it's just, I don't have to like you. We don't never have to be friends, but I'm just going to tolerate you for the time being because Michelle wasn't there.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. What if it was Barack Obama's choice to sit beside Trump? Say, I'll sit beside him. Yeah, I ain't tripping. Yeah, let me holler at him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't think he really is that type of person. Like, he seems like he whatever. He just go with the flow. Mm-hmm. Like, it don't bother him. You know what I mean? Because in politics, you have to have thick skin because you know that people are not going to like you. You're not going to get along with everybody. Everybody have different views. And I don't think that it bothered him to be like, I can't sit by. He's not that type of petty person, that type of person to be like, I'm just going to disrespect you how you disrespect me. But because he know who he is and he's confident within himself, that type of stuff don't bother him. So he just like, whatever. Like, you sit by me, sit by me. And if you notice, when he sat down, Trump started talking to him. He did not talk to him. He did not greet him. When he sat down, he said nothing to him. Trump started talking to him.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
Because if I don't like you, I don't care if you start talking to me. I ain't talking to you.
But you got to remember, he's on a different pedestal because he's in public. He's in front of everybody. Uh-huh. And if he does that, then he's considered an angry black man. He's the N-word. He's this. He's that. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you're in politics and when you are a public figure and people look up to you versus when you are working a regular 9 to 5. Yeah, we work regular 9 to 5. We ain't got to talk to nobody, right? Because we hit our check, we going home. But when you on a standard of being like a former president and stuff, people look at you different. So because he is a black man, he does not have the privilege of a white man to do the things that a white man can get away with. Nobody said anything about George Bush not speaking to Trump. Nobody said anything about Mike Pence's wife not speaking to Trump. Anything they said was what? Oh, she's standing on business. Now, let Michelle had done that. You think they would have said, oh, she's standing on business? They'd have been like, nah, she disrespectful, she rude, she this, she that, she an angry black woman, she this, she that. Should have been all kind of N-words and everything in the book.
Okay.
Let's just be real. This country is based off of race.
Okay. Sheena, I went back on my word. I said I wasn't talking about politics no more. But you made me go back. You made me go back on my word. Okay?
Let's go.
Let's stop giving that man the black card to use as if, if he did something a certain way, it was people would come down hard on him. When that man just got done chastising black men for having questions about Kamala Harris. I ain't sparing that wannabe that tether. I'm not sparing that tether. He's fake. Everything he said about Trump leading up to that point would lead you to believe. It would lead a hardcore Barack Obama Democratic Party supporter to feel like if they were in the same room, Barack Obama would be as professional to shake his hand and say hello and keep it moving. But all the laughing and kikiing, that's totally different. That's another level. I cannot like you and say I have to sit beside you and be professional. It's a totally different thing of I don't like you, I got to sit beside you, and then you say something, and I'm over here giggling. That's different.
But that's the mentality of black people. But in other cultures, I've seen this. Jewish people have disrespected each other to the point where you would be like, they never speak to each other, and they speak to each other like it's nothing. Because to them, they look at it as business is business. If you're going hard for a candidate, if you're going hard for a position, of course you're going to say some things, and everybody going to say some things, right? That's just point blank, period. You're going to say what you got to say to get the job done. That man probably don't like him. Just be honest, he probably don't like him.
He do like him.
But
he like him.
I don't think he like him. I think he tolerates him to a certain extent, but I don't think he likes him. Like, I don't think he would go and be like, hey, let's go to dinner. Mm-hmm. No. I think it's more like it's professionalism. Business is business. So here it is. I'm going to sit here. You're going to sit here, and we're going to act like two adults, or try to act like two adults.
They were two schoolgirls who was the cool schoolgirls in the back of the school bus. That's
just
what they
because
were.
You tolerate somebody don't mean that you have to be rude or disrespectful. You can tolerate and laugh. I tolerate people. I can still laugh at them and be like, but I'm not going to be like, you're not going to be my best friend. We're not going to go out to dinner and eat food and stuff together. Okay. But it's a level of business is business. It is what it is. You either like it or you don't. But at the end of the day, when I leave here, I don't have to talk to you ever again.
Okay. Well,
period. That's the problem with black people. The thing is, we have this mentality that you have to be a certain way when you really don't. I've seen other cultures disrespect each other in each other's face and be like, bro, you know what? Business is business. But at the end of the day, we got the same goal or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So let's just go out to dinner. Like, I've watched this.
Yeah, there's
you understand what I'm saying?
There's instances of that where people put their differences to the side for the greater cause. Yeah, that of
right.
course.
And you got to also remember that wasn't the place. That was Jimmy Carter's funeral. This is about Jimmy Carter. This isn't about me or you and what we agree or disagree. It's a time and place for everything. It's called class, right? Let's just keep it real. That was not the place to bring politics into it, because this is about Jimmy Carter, one of the presidents who lived 100 years old. So we have to celebrate this man because it's about him. Now, outside of that, if you want to go at it, we can go at it. But right now, it's not about our political view, and it's not about your political view. It's about Jimmy Carter and what he brought to the table as the president of the United States.
Okay.
So it's a time and place for everything. And unfortunately, people don't understand class.
Okay. You know what?
You understand what I'm saying?
You know what?
Because it wasn't the time or place to do that.
Okay. I got you. And you know what? Watch your back at the next family reunion. I changed my mind. I ain't got no class. I'm coming for you.
Okay.
Watch your back.
I'm going to DDP you. Right on your head.
All right. Love you, cuz. Love you.
I love you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You are the last part.
Oh, would you stop it? Would you stop announcing? I know that. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else want to call in before I end the show? I appreciate all the callers that did call in, though. Shout out to Sheena. Shout out to Akil Parker. All this math. Yeah, I just thought that was a good look. That was a good look for those who are so hardcore on either side, you know. Because I'm talking about the Democratic side, but I'm quite sure it was MAGA supporters who was pissed too. They was pissed, you know. And we really know why. A lot of the MAGA supporters was really mad though, right? We talk to that naga, you know. But we got another caller. Let me see. Hold on. Hello? Hello?
The conference is in presentation mode. There is one party in the conference.
Hello? You're on the line. State your name and business.
Kiara.
Okay, Kiara. This is the stalker. Sorry, guys. No,
Yes.
no. I don't say who you are. Don't say who you are. Well, okay. So what you got to say? What you think?
I think I agree with Cousin, and I also agree with you.
About what?
Because how they did look like two schoolgirls in the back of the school bus, like just kicking and kicking. Then when she walked in, it's like, oh, there she go.
Yeah.
And how Kamala was, it really did look like she messed with it, because she felt the energy as soon as she came in that door.
Yeah.
That
like
room, and especially how then they both stopped at the same time. It was like their reaction was literally the same. Like, he was like, oh, look, there she go, there she go.
Mm-hmm.
They must have been bothered or something, because there's no way.
Yeah. How many times, because you sound pretty young, you sound like you fresh out of school. How many times have you gone through that, what Kamala went through, when you sit down and, people who was talking, they stop talking and they get quiet and you kind of like glance back, just, see why they stopped talking, because you knew they was talking about you?
I went through that like 5 times.
5 times? Can I
and I'm not gonna even lie.
Huh?
I was one of those people though. I was Trump and Obama one time.
Oh, so you was messy. You was messy?
Yes. Yes, but I didn't like when it was done to me though.
Yeah.
I ain't like it.
But you did it anyway though, right?
Yes, but but it's okay though.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, okay?
You're welcome.
All right.
All right.
You are the last party in the conference.
Sorry, y'all. Hold on. What the hell is this? This crap. Okay. I don't know why I keep doing it. I got to figure that out. Okay, so, you know what? I think that's good to end there, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. For all of those who have tuned in, for those who are seeing this afterwards, let me know in the comments. I promise I will respond. Let me know in the comments that you have as it pertains to either one of these two topics. And till then, everybody have a great weekend. Hope everybody gets through these snowstorms, these ice storms, and these wildfires okay. And rest in peace to those who haven't. All right? Peace.